Number 6.
More than a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd hand. Yeah, it's an odd hand. Ooh, it's an odd chiral number.
What?
It's a improper chiral number. Chiral means hand.
Okay.
And
Chiral?
Chiral.
Spell that.
Doubt it. No, it's like a CY. It's a chirality. It actually means like to turn.
Mm.
No, yeah, it's to turn. No, it'd be habilis? Habby?
So, Mr. Lebowski,
Oh, yes.
do you have, is any of that printed?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll put it up. It's the best. It's great.
It's art done.
Listen, if that shit doesn't get you elected, I don't know. I don't have any hope for the citizens of your district if they can't get on board with this that you should be seeing on your screen right now. Because the dude abides.
Dude abides. Dude's sick of politics, just looking for a fair affordability like my rug.
It's crazy that we haven't talked about that movie. It's my favorite movie.
Right.
It's my favorite movie. And it's not the best movie.
No.
But like, when you think about favorites, and this is I always hate these questions. I hate these lists. It doesn't, because there's different ways to categorize what you think is the best or the greatest or the most impactful and most enjoyable and all these things.
Right. Or comedies versus dramas versus actions. There's,
it's all different.
Yeah.
It's all different.
There's categories for a reason.
But it's important to contextualize the question that's being asked when doing this. We're not going to get in the weeds about it. When it comes to just pure, uninhibited joy on every pass, The Big Lebowski delivers.
Yeah, it does.
To my brain, 10 times out of 10. I've seen that movie literally hundreds of times. I just watched it a few weeks ago, and I laugh. I still laugh out loud.
Right.
At some of the things that happen. When Walter is bashing Larry Sellers' car, well, it's not his car, the Corvette.
Yeah.
I laugh. Why do I? What?
Yeah.
I laugh because it's awesome. But you know what I think about during that scene? Have you ever watched The Big Lebowski on TV?
Yeah.
Like on network where it's censored?
Right.
And they dub the dialogue over all the F-bombs. Do you remember what Walter is saying when he's bashing in the Corvette with the crowbar?
No.
You know what he says in the movie? This is what happens when you F a stranger in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what happens, Larry. This is what happens. On WGN or AMC, it might be different now depending on where it airs, but when I watched it on WGN, this was years ago, before I moved here, it's on. They're in the living room with Larry Sellers and Arthur Digby Sellers, and then they go outside, and he says, "You want to see what happens, Larry? This is what happens, Larry, when you find a stranger in the Alps." This is what happens, Larry. Do you see what happens? This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
That's funny.
I laugh every time. I laugh at that. And that's just one example. It's just perfect. And it's 30 years old now.
Isn't it amazing?
It doesn't make sense to me. It can't be that old because I can't be that old. Because when I think about that, because
They do actually have like a brick cell phone in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's got the bag phone.
Yeah. Bag phone.
Yeah, Brandt gives him
Yeah.
the bag phone, and he's got it at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And it just keeps ringing. Phone's ringing, dude. Thank you, Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bag.
And I love the Donnie character. He's just like completely out of it and tries to get into their conversations and he's just completely off.
Have you ever seen the theory that Donnie was never there?
No.
Yeah. That Donnie is
Oh, the figment of Walter's imagination?
Donnie was one of Walter's buddies in Nam. And because of his PTSD and his psychosis, that Donnie is just that he's just yelling at nobody
Right?
when he's
Okay,
telling Donnie to shut the fuck up all the time.
I could
Like
totally see
he's
that.
just yelling at a ghost, and that's just Walt, and everybody just
Yeah, that's
he's
Walter.
just a crazy person.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't buy it, but I didn't like seeing Donnie go though. Sam Elliott is the stranger and the narrator.
But it actually makes sense because he's the figment, of Walter's imagination.
Yeah. Right. And Walter's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a Ralph's around here?
No, there are no Ralphs.
Dude, you got me. This is just, we're going to do this.
Yeah, nostalgia lane here.
We're going to do this. So the dude abides. Yeah, the marketing material that you put out is great. You got another one with Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah. Which was brought up because I actually he worked on Menlo Park.
Mhm.
I live on Menlo Circle. And I'm an inventor and an engineer and, doing all the neat things that I do, which is pretty similar to what he did. And yeah, it's a great coincidence that I live here.
Yeah, it works out. It works out. Well, now, and we're going to be open to suggestions, obviously. I got to find more goateed or, at least partially bearded, white icons of the pop culture sphere to
Yes.
AI.
I was starting to think about that because, like, me on Nero, like, he's got good fashion sense, but I don't think I could pull off a Keanu. John Wick is a little far.
You could be John Wick. We could prop you up as John Wick, but do you want to
He's got great fashion sense. I love his suits.
His suit, yeah. Those movies.
Yeah, of having bulletproof seats. It's just a great idea. The
So good. You got to think that they have that stuff. That stuff, those clothes exist. Like it's not. I don't know if the Secret Service has stuff like that.
No,
but like, how real? Like 10 being, it's entirely accurate, right? Totally exists in reality, and 0 being, it's basically fantasy. How real do you think that John Wick universe is? Like this underground of assassins that meet in the basement of a hotel, and there's this whole code and the coins, and everybody's in on it,
No, I don't. I think it's a 0 for me.
A 0?
It's a 0.
You think it's a 0?
0.
I don't know about that.
My first thought was like
3.
It was like a negative number.
A negative number?
Yeah. Like great fiction, nowhere near reality. It's a cool thought.
Well, it could be nowhere near reality, but still be greater than a 0.
No, I think it's a 0.
Okay. Oh, no, hold on. I'm not going to let this. The dude does not abide this. And am I Walter in this dynamic? Because I don't.
I think that makes you Walter. And that's okay. Okay. The closest thing I can kind of think of is like, Putin's, Assassin Squad.
Right.
But they're not doing gold coins. They're not really that.
Well, that's
and no, like that's. And they're not meeting in the basement of a hotel room and have a whole
right.
code. They just give whatever that element is that they give huge. They like to use a very certain. It's not plutonium. And they dose people in their tea with it.
Huh.
And,
what it's nah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because they dosed this one guy, one reporter, with like 10% of the world's supply of it, just to make a point. They actually could trace where they had been due to the extra radioactivity of it.
Well, no, I mean, those guys are the hands of, a person, a tyrant, right?
Yeah.
And powerful people have cleaners and fixers that do things. We could agree on that.
Yeah.
But the independent, just the outside of any jurisdiction, any government, any authority of just contract killers. You don't think that's a real thing?
No, I don't.
Not even
a real thing.
Not outside of Craigslist, at least.
Yeah.
All right.
There's no switchboard with lovely 50 styles. I know with the 50 style living.
It's the analog. Everything's offline. Right?
Yeah. Which is super cool, but then they still get like texts on their phone with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. Movies are fun.
Yeah. They're great. One of my philosophy professors used to talk about that every movie is somebody's philosophy. And they're illustrating how because philosophy is how you think your world works. Mm-hmm. And then your ethics is how you behave in that world. Mm-hmm. And then, like we could go even further, but in movies, it's a good movie has a complete world. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing, like Frank Herbert was a master of complete world building. And then how do you convey that visually? And then how you behave in that world, which is just like, I guess John Wick is a little, pushing towards like Pulp Fiction, because there's that same kind of thing. Like they're mobsters and night cleaners and that sort of thing. So I think it's a great fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a Pixar movie, Monsters Inc.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monsters in the Closet.
Love that movie.
Brian, that's a 0.
Yes.
On no scale of 1 to 10. John Wick can't be a 0. Again, I'm not going to abide it. I got to get just 1. It's a 1. Because
I was going to give you a point something there.
Fine.
With that argument, if that's where you're saying like
complete fantasy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if Monsters Inc. is a 0.
Yeah.
There we go. Monsters Inc. or like a Pixar movie, that's, Toy Story. It's a 0. Yeah. And like full on 10. Yeah. I'll give John Wick a 1.
You'll give it a 1.
I'll give it a 1. Because then I had to think about like, well, Pulp Fiction, that's closer in the bigger numbers. Yes.
I will give a 0 to the idea of a person falling down those steps like he did in the 4th one and just not being dead.
Right.
Like that was the most unbelievable.
Or not having broken bones and being still mobile. He must have, bones of titanium.
He's so cool.
I did really like, because there's really neat philosophy in there. Like those who cling to life will die, and those who cling to death, run to death will live.
Emerson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to put that in that context was a great, way of communicating subtext. Mm-hmm. Or like the pit viper gun was actually really cool that you could, once it was done, you could take the action off and stab with it.
Hmm.
That was a cool idea.
Yeah. Well,
And then it had 2 little fangs on it, so that's why it was a pit viper.
hmm.
There's so many good ideas in that.
Yeah. Yeah, they really nailed it with the bayonet, didn't they? On the musket. As we approach our 250th anniversary, I love how people call it a birthday.
A signing day. Because we were fighting for that for quite a few years before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
It's weird. It's arbitrary. It's like Christmas.
we didn't make birth from a port either.
Well, it's not like on July 3rd, 1776,
There was no,
there was nothing. And then on July 5th, there was something.
Yeah.
Like
It was building, like they'd worked all this time. They had they spent 40 days in a hot room with no air, in really wool clothing, bashing these ideas out.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheer tenacity.
It's probably 85, 90 degrees in that,
Oh, yeah.
what's
easy.
it called? What's the hall called in Philly?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Constitutional.
It's Constitutional Hall now, but it was something
yeah,
else then.
Yeah, because it was easy 90 degrees. And like 90%, it was probably hotter than that because it was in July.
Wigs and and
the wool.
It's great.
And it was probably like 90% humidity. And they're writing with, quills.
Yeah.
With actually goose feathers and soot paste.
Yeah.
And I still think about that. And then they're trying to pen these like amazing humanistic ideas of trying, how do we reform a system where a kingship doesn't happen again? I think that's what their main goal was. How do you get all these independent people, all these independent colonies and states to work together to not have a kingship so no one could, to balance power in every way. And luckily they had, and it happened that most of them had read some of the great philosophy of the day, Sartre and Hume, and had obviously looked at a lot of other constitutions, like the Constitution of Venice and a few others. And they pulled together all these great ideas, but they really, with that idea of balance of power. And, what's neat is in that, in balance and things ebb and flow and they have to take some time. And we've had imbalances of power, throughout our history with this guiding ideology. But I think that's the real crux of it. And so once it gets too imbalanced, then we have a correction. And then it goes the other way. And then it gets too imbalanced and then we go the other way. And, it's that, it's the ebb and flow. Because really we've been, where we are is in great comparison to the Gilded Age of the past. And we had to do some big ideas and big corrections to bring those powers back into balance. And I think we're in time for it again. But
there's never been balance. There's never been a country or a government where like everything was just no notes. Right?
Yeah, it's a living thing. Is it the Confucius thing is like running a country is like frying a small fish. Too much of anything ruins it.
Yeah. It's true. It's good. I like that. Well, nobody's figured it out. And it's not meant to be figured out. The road is always under construction.
Yeah.
The road is never finished. A road is never finished.
There you go.
A machine is never finished. It's never done.
All things human are never finished.
But it's not art. It's not something you release and then it's permanent and it's just there forever, right? In the record.
Because that's a thing.
That's a creation.
Uh-huh.
You sign it, it's done. Once people see it, it's done. Once it goes out, it's done. It belongs to everybody else. These things are not like that. It's not the same. And we've talked about it in different ways before, this desire to find some ultimatum for these issues. It's either all right or it's all wrong.
Which,
You know,
but those are black and white thinking, and really where good solutions come are in the gray.
of course. But the reason I bring it up is because what I believe is necessary as for the media and for political representation is to make it so folks that only have the bandwidth to see these things in black and white. It's not an insult on their intelligence or ignorance or anything. It's just that they just need to be able to understand better and be able to
It's more
have opinions
nuance.
that can be compressed into something that's a little more realistic and not just space, just empty space that has no resolve. Because I feel like that a lot of the vitriol and a lot of the anger and the fake outrage, the real outrage, whatever, it's just misguided most of the time.
Yeah. It's not at the right problems.
Right.
It's not at the, what's cause of it. It's a straw man argument.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, get that guy. Because he's, that's.
Well, that's the entire business model of the right-wing media. It has been for 25 years, is to let the left try to do stuff.
Yeah.
And then let them succeed or fail at a, I don't know, 60 or 70% clip, which is really good. But then just find that other third and just make it a boogeyman.
Yeah.
That's their whole, that's Fox News's entire programming.
Yeah.
Is just pointing out the things that the other people are doing poorly. And I only say other people in quotes as them.
Or
I
I'd
don't
also
believe
seen
in otherism.
Yeah,
like that.
the other thing I've seen is they take like something that happens less than 1% of the time, and then below
Like
that,
voter fraud.
yeah,
Yeah.
or or a host of other things, and then they make that like it happens 90% of the time.
Well, that is a problem. And that's their brilliance, because they'll never say 90%.
Yeah.
And they have a way of crafting
It's this problem.
It's-
It's this, this 0.8. They never say that it's actually 0.8, but
No.
that's what the statistics are for most of their big issues.
Yeah.
It's 0.8. And then they're like, this is the problem. And so they want you to throw the baby out with the bathwater for 0.8% of the time. It's like, oh, well, there's a little bit of dirt in that. Let's throw it all out.
Because it's sensational and it sells ads and it gets ratings. I mean, you remember during the 2020 election, I remember, I don't know when it was. It was sometime between the election and January 6th that, I mean, I think it was around the holidays, because I was home. I was at my folks' house, my dad's, and Fox News was on the TV the whole time. But like, I remember them showing the CCTV footage from the Georgia precinct where those two women, they testified before Congress. They got a settlement. It was Ruby something.
Oh.
It was like a mother and daughter, I think. I don't know. But they were poll workers. They were volunteer poll workers for the, is that Macon County? I don't know. The precinct in Georgia. And Fox had this loop of these two black women just going to a desk and then going over here and going over here, and they're like giving play by play, like, what's that under the desk? What's she reaching for right there? I don't know. What was that? What's that orange piece of paper? That one fell on the floor. I mean, fucking bananas. When you're talking, and even in that, like, it was all, it just, I think about, look at the exasperation I have just thinking about it now. Because the whole thing was, oh, I need 11,500 votes was what the former president at that time was saying. There was 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes. 12,000 pieces of paper. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. 12,000 ballots is duffel bags.
It's cases.
That's a trunk.
It's cases of like reams of paper.
Yes.
It's 10,000.
Right.
Somewhere around there. So it's more than a ream.
You notice.
Yeah.
It's not it wouldn't be some little anecdotal.
And they wouldn't be nicely pressed together. It would be double, triple the size of a case.
And that point was that was their whole, that they just looped it. And it was just, oh, these two women, oh, they're liberals and they voted for Barack Obama twice. Well, no shit. And,
because he got elected twice.
Ugh. It's fucking exhausting, dude. It's exhausting dealing with it.
Yeah. And then,
the game is changing.
And then to have the mental bandwidth and the wherewithal and the critical thinking skills to go, no, that's not right. And
not even right or wrong. But I've never understood why their viewership can't just be like, oh, why does this matter?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fucking matter. And the answer, I mean, the best answer I can give is that we're not operating on the same premise of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve. There's people that just want to win.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's win their family argument, their work, they just want to be the one that won versus the people at work that they argue with, or on their feeds, or whatever, wherever their dopamine comes from. And then there's others that want like the best thing.
Yeah.
Despite how they may feel about it for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of look at it like, oh, this won't affect me directly, but that would be a really good thing to do, considering, everything else, everybody else.
Yeah, because it's the moral developments of, is it for me? And then there's me and mine. And then there's us and me, or it's actually me and us. And then the ultimate one is us and me. So you're putting us first, all the way over to me first. So it's a little, it's a continuum of where do you sit on that line? Is it as long as I have me and mine are good, or just me as long as I'm good, or is when the ocean rises, all boats float higher? Those are kind of the two extremes that I see in that. And when you have the best for the most, that's when you have that, when the ocean, when the tides rise, all boats float.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's just a matter of, because, I mean, especially anyone with like a family that they're responsible for, I mean, that's first.
Yeah.
In your world.
Yeah.
Full stop. But it's just a matter of whether or not it is a full stop, or if there's things that are next.
Right, because we have that culture of that we're independent, like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and that independence, works when you have your full control of your means of production, of how, then yeah, your family can come first. But no one and no family is an island anymore. No one has full control of where all they get all their resources from. Like a family farm can be pretty self-sufficient. But anymore, most families are completely dependent on everyone else doing their job to being able to function, to grow their food. Well, actually, to mine the things and then produce and grow the things and then to production the things and all that, because no one does all of it anymore. You get the last people that really do that I know of are the Amish. And they've been, well, as long as we have this level of control, but they don't mine all their steel either.
Right.
They don't mine the coal for their blacksmith shops. So they still have that, but they have a lot less dependence on anyone else for their means of existence.
Yeah, I mean, if we're really going to dive deep into that premise, I mean, you really got to go to like Sentinel Island, like the uncontacted tribes of the Amazon, right? Those
Yeah,
people.
they have full control of their means of survival.
Yeah.
And we don't. So to have that me and mine, or just me and mine perspective in modernity, it's a disconnect, because you don't grow the trees that built your house, and you don't mind the nails that built it, all those things. So we really do live in this, a global world.
Well, an argument could be made, and you mentioned Hume, and it kind of rang a bell in his whole state of nature premises. This might be in there. The thing that most makes us human, and could be considered a superpower, compared to what every other breathing species is able to do, is the ability to develop empathy. To put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Right. Well, also one thing that really does, because, like caring and that sort of thing, empathy with family or social creatures.
Yeah.
Is pretty common. What really separates us is not even, our brain to weight ratio or, our hands. It's no other species can live in large cities like we can.
Yeah.
Like we live in a city of 5 million people.
Yeah.
There is no other animal that lives with 5 million others.
I mean, you'd have to go down to like insects and ants.
No,
stuff. I mean, but it's not that.
Not millions.
Right.
And they don't work together independently, and they're not, and then, insects have their jobs. Like their phenotype dictates what they do. We don't have that. It's our ability to communicate, work together, overcome, differences to do major tasks. Like it was the first time, I think it was in 2008, that humans globally moved more materials than ants.
That's interesting. How the fuck do you measure that?
It's a guesstimation, because you just go like,
I mean, okay. I mean, I disprove it, right? I mean, but I guess I'm sure you could measure it. I'm sure you could estimate it, yeah, that's crazy. Evolution, right?
Yeah, that we finally go, because there's also, because we can't even say like, well, we're the only creatures that inhabited every continent. Well, no, because even cockroaches have gone to space with us, and tardigrades, and all this thing. So that's really the thing, is that we are this communal species, and that without community, like we don't have big teeth, we don't have big claws, we don't have hair to protect us, we're not even strong or fast. Like you get a naked person out in the wild, they're middle of the food chain at best. And so it's when you get a group of us together and then we make some tools, then we can, despeciate continents. And it was the Clovis tradition of tool usage on America that, eradicated the woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed cat, because they had repeating spears, so that they could make a whole bunch of tips and carry one spear and have a bag full of tips.
Yeah.
Stick it on there, throw it, the spear would fall off, then they could, put a new tip on it and do it over and over again. That was 30,000 years ago.
How about the guy that came up with that idea?
Right?
Nobody knows who that is.
No.
Just unrecognized in history.
That was a brilliant guy.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really had something there.
Yeah. He helped to, eradicate one of the biggest land mammals, on America.
Yeah.
In the Americas. There we are. Yeah. We don't even know that guy's name, which
he didn't have one.
Totally had a name. He was like the best hunter ever and most ingenuitive.
Lothar or something.
Yeah. He had high prestige. He had all the 3 Ps.
Lothar of the Hill People. Yeah. It was a great old SNL sketch. I wish I could just make that up off the top of my head, but it was Mike Myers.
Yeah.
So today's July 1st.
But I guess to circle really connect that all back is that, technology has changed over the course of, for the last 200, really actually over the last couple 100,000 years.
Yeah.
But really, and the amount of, us living together, our technology is changing, the amount of, information. There we go. It was this. Because like the first time human information doubled was like if the Library of Alexandria was one. The next time was about the Industrial Revolution. And then the next time was in no, it was a printing press. There we go. It was printing press. Then it was Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
Then it was like the 50s.
Yep.
And now human information is doubling daily, if not more.
Again.
And so the amount of
beyond my capacity to try to understand that metric.
And it used to be that like TV and public broadcasting, the shows that were just on air were culture bearers.
Yeah.
That you could just, the next person you saw, you could be like, hey, did you see this, Seinfeld? And you could have a conversation.
The answer was probably yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now anymore, you can have a 10-minute conversation trying to figure out where your common cultures are.
Yeah, you're all just, both people are just telling the other one what they think they should watch.
Right. But now what's really interesting, let me bring this back all the way back to hunting and gathering. So what's kind of neat is in Papua New Guinea, when 2 Bushmen come and encounter each other out in the wild, arrows get knocked. That's, it's the first, threat. Mm-hmm. And then they go, hey, my cousin George lives in that village over there. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh, I don't know George. But my sister Susan lives over in this tribe. Oh, Susan, she's married to my other cousin. Okay. Now they can sit down and eat because they establish kinship, that they're no longer a threat. Mm-hmm. So our culture helps us establish that kinship, and philosophies do, and even religions do, and all those things that help us connect. And we are so disconnected because our culture, human information is so diverse that you can be almost a culture of one anymore, because you can listen, watch all the stuff and not overlap with all the stuff you like with anyone else.
Yeah.
Because if there was somebody else that had the same Venn diagram, you're quite the culture. You're your own culture. But now we're getting to the place where you can not overlap anywhere, or not, maybe not anywhere. Yeah. almost anywhere.
Well, I mean,
And then so that adds to that disconnect,
Right.
which decreases empathy, because that connection means kinship, which then means kind, empathy, and those things. So it's this really interesting as this diversification of our culture, to the point where it's really easy not to have any kinship.
I believe that it also puts
And let me know if that's a PhD in the works. Just if anybody,
what's that?
that idea.
Oh, just a yeah. Does it have a name?
No,
Okay.
I've never heard anybody else talk about it, but
Yeah. Well, here we go.
especially in that in that line of thought,
Yeah.
to get down to it's this emergent property that has really profound impact individually.
Oh, I think about that all the time. I've been thinking about that for years. I believe in exactly what you just said. It also puts a barrel tied to a rope on opportunity, individual opportunity for people and for employers and for potential employees and for relationships. Relationships. I think what you just described, what we're talking about, the pixelization of pop culture, I guess you could call it, right?
It's the shotgun. It's this plethora that is unconsumable by any one person.
Right. But what I'm saying, like, people, you hear it's, from, if single people or young people, it's impossible to meet anybody. It's impossible to date. It's impossible. Well, because those pop culture, the things that are consumed, well, that gets in your head.
Yeah.
And, this,
Well, we used to have the moral tales, like these stories.
yeah,
To how these things go. Even like the Cinderella story is this.
for sure.
It lays down like this is the way this works.
Well, but especially with comedy, you can't tell me that in the 50s that, like, I Love Lucy and the Honeymooners and like the Andy Griffith Show was probably all about the same time, right? They were all on together.
Yeah.
Did not like directly influence, or I mean, not influence, dictated what was funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, there wasn't a lot for a lot of folks to laugh at on a daily basis, right?
Right.
Other than just, their micro world, whatever, but the person that made them laugh, I mean, for all intents and purposes, was probably just doing some sort of remix of one of those shows.
Yeah.
Of one of those characters. It was everything. And you go through the stand-ups and these, all these kind of staples of our pop culture, and it influenced everybody. And I mean, but the point is that when you meet someone new, the odds of that introduction becoming something else is there's got to be some connective fiber.
Yeah.
Each person has to have a reason to willingly want to do that again.
Well,
to some degree.
So part of that is, yes, I think we will have little AIs, and they communicate, and they will be able to go, these are all the things that this person likes and consumes and is fundamental to their culture.
Good.
And then the other one goes, oh yeah, we match up on on if so many. Then they go, okay, you two should be friends, and then and they'll be our little AI overlords in very subtle ways.
By the middle of your third term in the House, we'll be doing that telepathically on large scale.
I'm not sure about telepathically, but like our AIs will be doing it
Well, that's
for us.
We're kind
And
of saying
it
the
will
same
go
thing.
and it will go search out other people and like this should be your friend group.
Neuralink is going to be a thing, dude.
Oh, there was a great book called The Feed that everybody had that, and you could just, like get images. I want some pants, and then like it would show you images in your pants, and you could just buy pants.
Images in your pants.
Yeah.
Good name for an album.
Yeah, images in your pants.
Yeah, like a 7.
Yeah.
That was super.
Then you could just sit there and just think about it and buy it, and then the whole means of production would go into effect. It would make the pants because it was so like on demand that you could check in at any time and go, are they making my pants? Have they folded my pants? Have they shipped it? Where is it in the shipping line? Is it on my door?
And then it gets dropped off by a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then it got to the point where this was so wide scale that there was only very few people that were abstainers of it. And they had a hard time getting jobs. And it's just like the internet today. Like if you don't have access to the internet, how do you apply for a job? How do you even find a job? You walk in off the street anymore? Like some of my first jobs, I just walked in and was like, oh yeah, I want to work.
What do you mean some of? That was the play.
Yeah. I just was like, oh, I want to work in this area. I'll go look and see who's hiring.
That's what you're going to do. I mean, you look at the classifieds.
Yeah.
Right? There was a point.
And then the dinosaurs actually delivered the classified ads to our doors.
Yeah.
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 I had a great relationship with a petrosaur that would.
I think about that. Like it's one of the examples of like, if I'm making the case that the fundamental differences between someone that's our age, early 40s, and someone that's a teenager or just beyond, that 20 years is the second greatest 20-year gap in recorded history, behind only the difference between us and the people that are between 60 and 70 now.
Oh, I would even go older than
that. You talk 20 to 25 years.
I was thinking, I was going, my mind was going back to like the people pre-fire and post-fire.
But that was a slow burn.
Oh, good one.
Thank you.
No, I'm so glad you can pick up on my setups.
Yeah. But things can change so drastically. And hold on one second. Pause. It might stop, it might not. Okay, it didn't stop. Always, when dealing with an older client, retirement age, we'll call it 65 and up, it was critical for me to make them understand my empathy and my sympathy for them. Okay? Before I even knew them. If you're talking to a man in his 60s right now, that's been a businessman, it's been running a business, been in business for 30 years, 30 to 35 years. These places are everywhere. Your local service company, right? The old man's still there, right? Still shows up a couple days a week. That man started that business in his shed with a landline that he ran from his house
to a rotary phone
to the shed, and pen and paper.
Yeah.
And grew that to maybe a multi-million-dollar business between 1985 and 1995
Mm-hmm.
Essentially with those tools.
Right.
If we're just talking about like physical tools, that's what you had for communication and marketing and hiring and everything, right? Yeah, typewriter. If you wanted to, if you had to make something formal, get a printer to make you something, right? Which was very expensive and very timely.
Yeah,
and then time
types
consuming.
actually
Yes.
typesetter and all that stuff.
For sure.
Making the prints.
That's what you had. And that man survived being in business in real time. And let's say he was 30 when he started. Let's say he was 25 when he started that business. And then he's 35, pushing 40. Family, couple of kids. He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Responsible for a payroll of 15 to 20, millions of dollars of work. The community knows him. He's got a reputation. This is a guy with a lot to lose.
Yeah.
Right? And the adjustments that these folks had to make in real time, the adaptation of email, computer, networking phones, having a website, having a web portal, reviews, all of the stressors of the way of marketing online, showing up on Google, how people find you, how you connect with people, how you process invoices, how you process credit cards, all of these things that were essentially forced upon them. You don't really have it. You didn't really have a choice.
No,
they had a choice for a while.
You had that adoption. Well, there's always the adoption distribution.
There's a curve,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
And so you have that windows of that if you've adopted it
Mm-hmm.
and that was the successful adoption, yes, you kept on. So they kept having all these extinction events. They survived all of them because they adapted at the right time and to the right platform to do the right thing. While all these others that didn't, that couldn't adapt, were either bought up or went under.
Well, that's the thing and that's part of the point is that they did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they tried things and it backfired and
it just didn't work. It didn't have the ROI.
Tool, or they got this thing that they needed to do and it was a struggle.
Yeah.
They struggled to make that transition with their team and their human resources. And, the ones that made it, it's incredible. No other person in their position, you call them entrepreneurs, in their adulthood. And then, that's the other big point is that you talk about that man now, a couple of kids, wife is 35, 40 years old. It's a grown-ass man. The hardwiring's in. You're done. You are who you are. This is the way you conduct your business and your life. And then from the age of 40 to 60, have to live from 2000 to 2020.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And dealing with two teenagers at home,
Yeah.
right. And dealing with all of the personal, just the nature of adjusting personally, right. And getting your first smartphone and learning how to do that and getting your muscle memory. These things all take up bandwidth. We don't think about it now, but that was a real thing that these people had to they had to do it. They didn't sign up for it.
No.
They didn't sign up for that. They just did it.
But they did, they evolved and they grew and they went in the right direction. They went in the directions that worked. And
it worked for it. It worked.
Yeah.
Ultimately, despite all of the little things, they're still here, right?
Yeah.
The odds were stacked against them the entire time. They're one of the ones that made it. And it's incredible. And they deserve praise for it. And they never get it. They never hear it from their wife, their kids, their spouse, certainly their employees, right?
Right.
I mean, maybe anecdotally, passively or something, somebody would try to kiss their ass. But it was probably perceived as more of an ass kissing exercise than
And actually
right,
appreciation
than
of
an actual appreciation.
how you
Yeah.
had to grow and be on the right, curve
Mhm.
every time.
No, just the constant adjustments.
Yeah.
Just constant adjustments to stay
Where like
to keep the curve in sight.
right, where before now you could do the same thing as your grandfather did in the exact same way as a craftsman. And that's, before, well, like before the Industrial Revolution. So before 300 years ago,
Yeah.
humans did the same thing for generations.
Right.
And there was subtle adjustments.
Yeah. And that
now,
knowledge was passed on and passed, and that's how you got jobs. And that's how you became something.
Yeah.
Everyone was something. Right? Everyone was a thing.
right,
I'm a blacksmith.
There's this great,
painter,
there's this young mason who, like, his father was a stonemason and like gave him his first stones when he's like 5. And now he's like a 20-year-old stone master.
Yeah.
And helping to replace stones on cathedrals at 20.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go, wow, how did people build, these great things? Because of that, is they started out when they're really
and carefully
young. And
slowly.
And slowly. Yeah. And by the time they're in their peak, they are masters and can do huge bodies of work.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't have that today. We're at the place where specialization is for insects.
I mean,
and so we just have to deal with, adaptation. We have to adapt to the adaptability of our world.
When I think about mastery, they say, well, you got to put your 10,000 hours in to
be world class.
Know something.
To be world class,
I mean?
it's 10,000 hours of practice.
Fuck all that. That's nonsense. 30,000. Talk about mastery.
Well,
like these guys.
Well, yeah, to be,
yes,
to be of, like the best in the world. Yes.
Yeah.
But just to be world class at something.
Yeah.
Take 10,000 hours of practicing it in the way to be better, not just practicing it to be the same, because practice makes permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Practice doesn't make better.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the thing in a way that would mindfully, make you better.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10,000 hours in that direction will put you, world class. That people that follow that sort of thing, there's like 150 of you in the world to do it, use a Dunbar number that are of that. And then to be the best of those, then yes, it's probably geometric levels of hours more to be.
No, yeah, that's you take a group of 10 people with a skill set. The best one is at minimum twice as good as the bottom 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that scales up and down across the spectrum. Always.
Those are great. Those are great thoughts.
What's that?
Those are great thoughts.
Yeah. That's why they come here.
Yeah.
We got thoughts on stuff and things.
Good, illustrations of how, the systems and how, squishy and math and human and
squishy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny word.
Yeah, I liked it. It was like this math and then they're human. It just becomes this squishy math.
Yeah. Does that cup have a name?
Yes. His name is Buzz because he holds a light year of water.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So if you took all the molecules of water in him when he's full and you put them in his long ways, because
I did not see this coming. Continue.
And you put it in a straight line, it would take light a year to reach the end of it. So
why do you do this shit to me?
So there's a
I'm
mole.
trying-
so a
I'm trying
mole
to run a
water.
podcast, and now you got me thinking about fucking molecules of water stretching 168,000 miles across space.
Yeah, isn't that great imagery of just
That's fun.
a molecule line, just a sheer molecule line of water that would stretch further out than anything we've sent
Buzz.
physically out into the universe. Because
Yeah.
to make that a little bit more, just a little bit more understandable, and not really, is a mole of water is 18 grams. So like 18 M&Ms of water.
Mhm.
There is 6.23 times 10 to the 23rd power of molecules in that. That is more than grains of sand on all the world's beaches. And I drink about 2 light years of water a day.
God, I haven't heard that in so long. That equation.
Yeah.
That whole that old physics book anecdote. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I haven't heard that in so long.
Like,
That's why I was smirking, because I was just like, when was the last time I talked about or even thought about moles? It's been a long time.
that's it. For me, not that long. Like,
Yeah.
I've made my own soap and detergent, and like that's all stoichiometry and getting ratios right and having to understand the moles and what's getting down into making sure that it's a complete reaction. Otherwise, you have leftover alkalis. And
It's July 1st. It's July 1st on our 250th anniversary. And here we are.
well, actually,
Here we are.
that gets back to it, because like I've brewed my own mead and wine and stuff from my yard.
Yeah.
I've made my own soap and detergents. Like, I've been trying to find where my balance is of means of of production come from, and how self-sufficient can I be? And so, like, I have a dozen fruit-bearing trees on my little property, and chickens, and so I get a lot of fruit and calories and proteins from my land.
Yeah.
And then, like, what base components can I acquire, that how much more can I do? So I really like thinking modular from the micro to the macro. And that's one of the things that I think, for my campaign, to bring this back to that, is that gives me a rather unique perspective in dealing with legislation.
Absolutely.
That goes, oh, I see how all these things go together. And how do you tweak it here and here and here to get it to go, not having to do big moves? How do you tweak a little here, a little there, and to get this whole system to shift? Because if you would have put the penny at the right place long enough ago, you could have diverted where the Grand Canyon and the Colorado River at.
Have you ever heard the story about how they used mushroom fungus to figure out the Tokyo subway system?
Oh, that was a slime mold.
Okay.
It was a slime
Yeah.
mold.
Yeah.
And yes, it came up with a more efficient path.
The most efficient.
Yes, the most efficient, of course. Which there's probably some human elements in there, is why it's not actually the most efficient.
Right. Right. That's I feel like that's what it's what's missing in our discourse and
Right. It's actually going from,
politics in general.
Like,
it's just the ability to attack these details.
Well, and we know some great best practices.
Yeah.
We know things that work, like from sociology. It was one of the things that when I was in Europe, I love seeing these mature cities that had been there for, almost 1,000 years or more. And that either by trial and error, they really didn't get higher than 6 stories in all of their buildings.
Right.
But we know from our sociology that once you get over 6 stories, crime goes up because it gets beyond our Dunbar numbers of knowing who all lives in that area and being able to identify who all your neighbors are.
Explain, that's the second time you've used that. Explain what a Dunbar number is so that we can have some context.
So Dunbar is an anthropologist that proposed and fleshed out a really thing that we evolved over the last couple 100,000 years in tribes of up to 150. And that our little brains can handle understanding all the relationships between those 150. Once we get outside of that, our understanding of those relationships, we have a harder time knowing all the relationships. And so that 150 is, and for social, like if you need a lot of socialization, I did the math on this, and you have your everyday 5, ones you see almost every day.
Sure.
And then you have your weekly 15, which includes your daily 5.
Right.
And then you have your monthly 50. And those are the ones you see once a month. And now you have your yearly 100.
Right.
So if you see one of your daily 100, or one of those about every 3 days or so, 3 point something days, you can hit and have a meaningful conversation with your 150.
But the number is, it's essentially, it's saying that we only have the RAM to hold that much.
Yeah.
It's RAM.
Yeah.
Right.
We're wired for about 150.
Right.
And once you get over that, relationships break down, people feel alienated. And, the great African proverb of people that are not accepted by the village will set it afire to feel its warmth.
Right.
And I start to see those symptoms all the time because I have lots of conversations. Well, let it burn. And then I have to say, but if that happens, are you and I going to be at the table to rebuild it? Who's going to be...
Oh, that person will say, well, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. I'll be there.
No.
Bullshit.
You won't be at the table to rebuild it.
He's not invited.
Yeah. But he didn't make it through the first 24 hours.
No.
And the ones who will are the ones who have the resources to have maximum influence now that we're wanting to burn it down for. So we have to now start to unite us to make us the many and to overcome the few that have the power.
And it's important that the arson is not also the CEO of the only fire hydrant distributor.
Right.
That would be important.
Well, actually, I could argue against that because now there are already fire hydrants out there. So
I should have said fire extinguisher distributor.
Okay. Well, anyway, whatever the example is.
Yeah.
Well, now they no longer have a monopoly on the fire extinguishers or the fire hydrants. Now local people can actually redevelop new ones and maybe get some better ones. And maybe there'll be worse ones, but that would distribute that production from a central location across the nation again.
I see what you're saying. You know what I mean.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm using this as a great illustrative example where we need to distribute the means of production back across and locally rather than centrally. Because when that happens, all of a sudden now there are thousands of more jobs because that centralized has streamlined it, that to the point where they're efficient at their, economies of scale. Because they're centralized, they can get better deals and all that. Yeah, it's cheaper and all that. But only few people have the means of production. When you redistribute that, now more people have means of production. And it's under fiction. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get local innovation. You're going to get job production, and better resource, and more opportunities locally in every sector than where we are with all these monopolies that they are in full control of production.
And that's great. With that, we know that the arson, the former monopolizer, knows that the large part of the pie chart of his consumers don't give a shit. They just want the best thing for the cheapest and the easiest.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the programming. That's where it is. And that's why.
Well, that's why we've gotten
to where we are.
That's exactly why we are where we are.
I think it's critical. I know that it's critically important that the things you're talking about begin to become understood at a second or third layer at minimum down level to most people. And it's happening already. I mean, if you look at what's happened in New York and some other places, there was an election, primary election in Denver where like a 15-term congressman got taken out. Yeah, by these folks that are calling themselves democratic socialists.
Yeah.
And just like we were talking about earlier and everything, they are the targets on their back, and it's flashing neon lights, right? To be attacked and to be villainized and everything.
But when they do get in power, the people do better.
Well, it's going to take some time because, when they get into power, just like everybody else with great new ideas, when they get there, they realize that there's this
like
institutional wall.
Like Vandani already fixed several thousand potholes, has has made opportunities for huge amounts of people to find homes, increased child care, all those just amazing things. And he's been in office, the same amount of time than somebody else who's kind of destroyed our world image.
And we'll see. I don't know anything about most of that. What's important, just like with any any policy, any enactment of things like this, we'll see how it looks in the balance sheet in 2 years, right? Because I mean that's kind of the timeline that it takes for these things to take effect. So New York, and again, New York is not on their own, but they are a thing in itself. You can't compare how you deal with something in New York to how you would deal with something in any other city or anywhere else. Because it is its own thing. Now, it's not a blanket statement. Some things will transfer over, but New York is
a lot of that will.
What I'm saying is that it's critically important that this message comes across and can punch through the noise to get folks to just open themselves up to the ideas without the stigma of these spooky words and these scary concepts. Because if you just say the word communist, it's over with like half the country.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, more than half the country.
More than half, right?
But what real communism,
even socialist. If you say socialist,
yes, that's the real boogeyman.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary, spooky.
Which is
Can't
so funny.
tell you what it means.
Right.
Can't tell you what it means.
But we have so much socialism already. Like our schools are socialism. Our police are socialism. Fire, our sidewalks, our roads. all huge amounts of our everyday lives are already socialist.
None of this is an accident. It's been a 60-year terror campaign
Well, now,
on our ability to use our greatest asset, which is the ability to communicate and use language.
yeah.
And so much of it has been bastardized by these bastards that it's impossible. It's
Yeah,
not
most of these
impossible,
words, I don't
but
even know what they
it's
mean anymore.
Fucking hard to speak to people in large numbers because there's not words that you can use to eloquently
Right, because of our
without saying these things that are these red herrings.
well,
to
also
so many
that
people.
we don't have common national metaphors. As we can't reference, Andy Griffith or, or the Will and Grace or, these TV shows anymore. Like we could reference those as metaphors, or even Star Trek. It's
Yeah.
great. There's actually a whole episode about language as
Of course there
metaphor,
is.
and it was brilliant. And that's why a lot of our past presidents and great speeches contained biblical metaphors, because it was the most common book. And most people had read, some or part of it, or knew somebody who spoke that way.
I mean, it really covers all the tropes, like all the storytelling archetypes. They're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Either coincidentally or not.
So we could have these common metaphors
Yeah.
and didn't have to explain it all. But it gets right back to what we got, that our culture is so differentiated that it's to have an inkling of what like the zeitgeist could be is only for certain certain sectors.
Yeah.
Because
Well, we talk about zeitgeist, like it's ever present. It's there. It connects the conscious, but like it's the dissipation of the zeitgeist. And I don't know
Well,
what
it's
you
almost the
said.
overloading
Yeah.
of the zeitgeist, so it's absolutely incomprehensible.
Correct. Right.
That's-
And that's what I was about to say, is that it's not the culture differentiation. It's the differentiation of inputs, right? Everyone's got can essentially curate their influence. Well, it's still curated for them, but it's individualized by an algorithm. They're not actually choosing from the large pool of things. Things are being whittled down and
Yeah, because
disseminated
there's so
to
much
them.
content that you can't
Right.
even begin to go, of
course not.
like that. No, it's
course
we're completely dependent on algorithms,
Right.
to point us into the direction of, here, would you like what of this selection would you like? And then you get to do that. But that's all been backdoor.
But they don't even ask.
Yeah, I know they don't.
They just know
They
where
just
your
go-
thumb paws.
Right.
They just know when
So
you're
they
doing this,
know-
you're doing this, you're doing this, then you do that. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They know.
Then they should you more like that.
They know. How fucking crazy is that?
I know. So really,
That, like,
we are already.
they
so
know how your finger works.
what the really scary thing is, those who are in control of those algorithms are really the ones in control of our culture.
They're the arbiters. They're the arbiters of our access.
They're
They're not the arbiters of culture. They're the arbiters of access
they're
to
the
things.
they're the gatekeepers, because they show you what you like, only what they want to show you.
Man, it's something I want to think about, because I want to get the language right, but like it's different. We'll go back a couple weeks. We were talking about Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci choosing the blue sweater, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The difference is that when they did that, there was only the blue sweater. Now, everything else still exists.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's different. Like they're different. It's a different thing. They're not choosing what is made. They're choosing what you see.
Which is actually even more important.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to modify what you can buy than what you consume.
I mean, it's
or what you see.
Well, yeah, it's more important that if you're looking at a cooler that is got 100 things of it and 99 of them are poison, it's important that the one that's not is clearly labeled.
Yeah.
Because the odds are against you.
Yeah.
If you're just picking randomly. That was a completely off the cuff.
That was great.
That was good? Okay, good.
It got the point across. That it's simplified right to the point of like,
we're working on it, man.
Yeah.
The road's always under construction. All right. Let's talk about America. I've been trying to do this for 45 minutes. Let's talk about America. I wanted to bring this up recently and forgot. Okay, first of all, have you? We talked to. You don't consume a lot of mainstream media, and God bless you. Nor should you. Have you seen the National State Fair thing, like the whole thing they're doing in DC? And
I've heard a bit about that. Yeah.
I mean, we were laughing about the reflecting pool a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now this damn thing, they're having this party. It's so bad. It's so embarrassing and so bad. Now, I don't want to talk about that. I would like to talk about joy first. What has been beautiful and what I believe should be just a dopamine hit for anyone that actually cares about this country and loves it and appreciates it. Just look at, and you don't have to look hard for this. Look at the way these soccer fans are coming here and experiencing this country.
Right.
And the absolute fucking absurdity and insanity of how good we have it and how great this thing is that we live in. That like the guy from Moldova going to a Buc-ee's, right? It's
gold.
The ranch dressing thing that the TSA had to put an alert out because these Europeans are freaking out over ranch dressing. But there's do your own, just look around, just look around at these people that are coming from other places and going to the beaches and driving around and going to the stadiums and going to the restaurants and going to the bars and eating the barbecue and eating the internet, all of the stuff, the cool shit that we just have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that we take it for granted, but we do.
Yeah.
A little bit from time to time.
And how safe.
And you could, it's incredibly easy because it's being thrown at you by a cannon all the time to become a cynic and to become negative and to have a negative outlook and have a negative perception of where we are and what we are and who we are. And I would just implore anyone that is hearing my voice to just take a step back when those demons try to infect you and pay attention to the good stuff just for a moment and just remind yourself that, I mean, even if it's 50-50, and it's not, but even if it's 50% bad and 50% good, those are better odds than like every other human has had ever in recorded history, right?
We have a really good.
We are so lucky. You won the $10 billion birth Powerball.
Yeah.
And you were the only winner. All of us. We're here now. It's awesome. Just appreciate it. With that, the thing that I wanted to bring up was there was recently an event at the White House where men were beating the shit out of each other on the South Lawn for an audience.
Yeah. Was it Teddy Roosevelt did that too?
No, Teddy Roosevelt fought Jack Johnson in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what Teddy Roosevelt did. You know that story?
What, that they would hold regular boxing things.
No. So Jack Johnson.
Until he lost like the sight of half his eye from
because Jack Johnson knocked him out.
Right.
Because he won the heavyweight championship, this black man, right? And Teddy wanted him over to the White House, which probably to that point and up until, I don't know, like Nixon might have been the biggest political scandal of the 20th century, that Teddy Roosevelt was having a black man to the White House.
Right.
Okay. But the heavyweight champion of the world, he was in his 20s, right?
Yeah.
Teddy was like, he was
Wait,
born half a cripple anyways, right? And just had to train his body to endure, and that's why he was who he was. But he's in his 50s or whatever. He's been around and whatever. The heavyweight champion of the world comes over to the White House, and Teddy kicks out of his advisors, and it was just in his instinct that, oh, well,
let's go.
I have to fight this man. So he comes and is like, oh, terrific. Come on in. Here we go. And Jackson's like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Right.
Are you serious?
I'm going to fight the president.
And
goes at it.
yeah. And he broke his orbital.
Yeah.
Whoops. Or not whoops.
Well, Teddy Roosevelt was a rough rider. He
was the best of the best.
Yeah.
We'll have another time for Teddy. So people were beating the shit out of each other on the South Lawn. There were 80,000 people in the National Mall watching it on giant screens. Okay. There was the Claw, which was this massive structure built on the South Lawn specifically for that, to host this fight, this series of fights. The president was there, essentially did a perp walk on national television before the walk with the director or the CEO of the company, who's also one of his donors and one of his biggest public supporters, walked through the promenade out into the arena, which is, again, on the South Lawn of the White House, to the tunes played by the Presidential Marine Band, right? The band that pick your event. The band is specifically allocated to the president for times when he, for
needs
national affairs,
needs
right?
pomps and circumstance.
Right. I mean, just a historically beautiful and awesome thing that we have, right? So the Marine Band is there, and they're playing all the intro songs to these fighters that are coming out. So instead of coming out to AC/DC playing Thunderstruck, they're coming out to the Presidential Marine Big Band playing Thunderstruck. And there's the flyover, and there's the overcast, the East Coast overcast of the night, and the lights, and then the White House is in the background, and there's advertisements for pick your corporation, which has given millions of dollars to the president and his cronies for whichever one you want to choose, whether it's Paramount, whether it's Polymarket, the one that his sons are special advisors to, and these crypto companies. There was, I don't remember what it was, but there was a Saudi real estate company advertised on the mat on the South Lawn of the White House. in beautiful 75-inch HD in my living room. And it was just it's a poster. I mean, it was an advertisement for this corruption and this insidious infection of these fucking people that have infiltrated the power structure of our company. And and you know that they're just getting paid.
Yeah.
They're just making money off of these things, and it's there, and they're using it for that. And you know what? It was awesome. It was awesome. It was so fun to watch. It was great television, and I don't know how to reconcile those feelings. And I believe that is America. That is America, that I see between the lines, and I see this thing that I could just pick apart and be angry at and be furious with. And I could go online and I could find all the commentators that are just shitting on it and making fun of it and pointing out the things that were bad or wrong or weird or whatever. And that is most in my character and what I believe to be my level of intelligence. And it's also the moral stance that I believe one should have when looking at that thing. However, there were UFC fighters beating the shit out of each other on the south lawn of the White House. That was awesome. And the fights were great. Like, objectively, if you're a fight fan, like, the card was incredible, and it was produced perfectly and brought to us live. It was awesome. Both things are true in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to deal with that. And I believe that is in a microcosm, that is America. That is America to me, is to hate the thing that I'm really enjoying.
I keep hearing over and over again, Roman Empire. Give them bread and circus. The gladiators of old, like, that's what that was. It was all the pomp and circumstance to give bread and circus, to placate the plebes.
I mean, listen,
The pleb. But anyway, so that's what it is. That we, like, it's that symptom of that was end stage Roman Empire.
yeah.
That this is us, this is a symptom,
Yeah.
or a sign of end stage.
And I went
American
there too.
Empire.
I went there too.
Yeah.
And like with the most fatalistic lens, like, oh, this is the beginning of the end. Like, we're doing the fucking Coliseum thing again. Okay.
Is the train
we're
wreck
really on our way out? But
yes.
I really want to see this just engage.
Right, because train wrecks, it's also that, like, looking at that and seeing that is horrible and spectacular and awesome. Like the Hindenburg. That was awesome to see.
Well,
it was absolutely horrible accident, and how many hundred people died.
It's like the administration is a train wreck, right? Like, I mean, it's a train wreck. You can't look away, but like only in anecdotes, like only when in moments where somebody just says something ridiculous or that is actually, like, Trump makes me laugh sometimes because he's such a smart ass, and like I can't help but just like snicker, but it makes me sick at the same time, right? More so, but it's just this fucker.
Well, and that's the thing, that we like things that are, like, in music, we like things that are full bandwidth.
Sure.
And so, like, the imagery and the metaphor for all this stuff is so layered that there's a good layer and a bad layer and a good layer and a
You
bad
got to be able
layer.
to see through them. That's
you have to
that's
see
what
them all.
I'm saying. Right.
But it occupies our bandwidth to the point where like, wow, like that was complete entertainment.
Hmm?
Yeah,
It checked all the boxes.
it did.
I
And
mean,
now overall, and now if we look at, at the, you seeing that at your TV and just being awe-inspired and entertained.
I wouldn't
and all
say
that.
awe-inspired.
Okay.
I just said it was awesome.
Okay.
It looked awesome, and it was.
But now
it was a great show.
So we can go back in all these layers and let's go a little higher, the higher view, like that. What's the, well, we go much higher than the event. Well, we see that there's evidence of corruption and cronyism and nepotism and oligarch stuff. Okay, so now what's a little higher than that? Now we get into, we have foreign real estate agencies being advertised.
I think it was whatever it was. It was Riyadh something.
Right. Anyway, whatever it is, that this is. It is awesome that in a year. Yeah, it's been a little bit more than a year.
18 months since they got inaugurated.
Yeah, so the inauguration, that we went from kind of operating like we have for the last 250 years to operating so closely to the Roman Empire and other oligarchic governments in 18 months. That as well is awesome. Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Because like I find awesome is an interesting word because
it's a very interesting
word. Because having some awe is like the best.
Yeah.
But being full of awe is awful. So this is awful because this is full of awe in all these different ways. And yeah, like if that fight would have happened anywhere else at any other time.
But if you only have some awe, it's good.
Yeah.
Full awe, bad. Some awe,
this is
good.
Full awe.
I don't like it.
It's full awe.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know you don't like it. That's okay.
Let's change it. We got to figure something else out.
Yeah, because it's full off. It's full off.
Let's cancel awesome.
Yeah.
Hashtag cancel awesome. So I wanted to mention that because I was very conflicted by it. There's not a lot of things that have made me feel there's never been anything that I've ever consumed, certainly live, that made me feel the way that thing feels. And again, when I give credit to the production, it's UFC, right? I mean, that's not a credit to any elected official or any administration, right?
But I'm a little disturbed that you had that kind of relationship with that event. That nothing else has made you feel that way.
But like so strongly on the opposite ends of the spectrum,
right?
Like deeply resented, despised.
The amount of cognitive dissonance
and like hate. I mean, hated the idea of the things which I described. Right.
The cognitive. You had a severe cognitive dissonance experience.
As severe as one that I have ever had is in a relationship with something on my TV.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like aside from sports, because that's different.
Yeah.
Well, no, it is a sport. The only thing, so it's not different. Okay. The only thing that's close, since you asked, Game 7 of the 2016 World Series. Because I hate the Cubs. However, we won't get into it. We can another time maybe. I had my take on why I believed they why I wanted them to win. I didn't want them to win because I wanted them to win. I wanted them to win to be a burden upon their fan base.
That's
It's-
a hot take right there.
Believe me when I say there's substance to it. But I was conflicted because I can't stand I'm a White Sox fan. So I didn't want them to win, but I kind of did. But within all of that wrapping paper was one of the greatest, most significant baseball games that's ever been broadcast. And it was incredible. It was incredible to watch. And extra innings and the tarp comes out and all this stuff. And it was game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah. It went all the way out.
It was awesome. It was amazing. It was an incredible baseball game with the worst possible result for me personally.
All right.
It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a conflict.
So how does this whole fan base, being a burden on the fan base?
Okay. Fine. It had been 108 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Growing up in that region, in the region of Chicago, baseball season is polarized. The majority people will claim the Cubs. I don't call them fans because many of them are not. The Cubs are easy. The Cubs the Cubs over the course of a couple generations executed one of the greatest business models a franchise has ever had, being on national television every day on WGN, right? And having Harry Carey as their broadcaster. And they cultivated a massive fan base nationally, right? One of the most popular teams in the world.
Yeah, they do spring training here.
Yeah, and they play the day games, and it's Wrigley Field, and it's in the neighborhood, and it's got the charm, and okay, and these people would walk around, and if you didn't know any better by the way that they talked and conducted themselves in terms of baseball things, you would think that they were the New York Yankees. But they were the opposite of the New York Yankees. They were up until 2016, the most feudal sports franchise in the history of organized sports. And it's not close, by the tune of 20%. Only followed by their crosstown team, because it was 88 years until the White Sox won a World Series. And the Red Sox was only 86 years, and that was the year before, and that's the one that got all the attention because it's the Red Sox. So, literally the most losing franchise ever. Not close. And like they wore it as a badge of honor. That was the thing that they could, that's what made ease. They were the lovable losers. Oh, it's okay. We don't have to care that much. It's okay. We do it every year. That's just the Cubs. Meh. And that's just this flippant attitude about the game, right? And about the competitive nature. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
About the competitive nature of it. And for me, who is probably borderline sociopathic when it comes to the seriousness for which I take my sports, right? Professional sports and the teams that I love. It is serious. It's serious business. I want to win championships now, as soon as possible, and a lot of them. I want to win. That's all that matters. I want my teams to win. And if you're a serious sports fan, then you want your teams to win, and you care, and you spend money, and you go to the games, and you talk about it, and you consume the information, and you read the books, and you've collected the cards, and you watch the fucking games. Hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours of your life dedicated to following and enjoying this thing. And it's part of your life, and you just want to win. And these people just would it's okay. and the attitude, and it's the worst. And the reason there's so much polarity in Chicago, polarization between these two teams, I just described it. So someone would tell you, well, it's white collar versus blue collar. It's people that want to go to a baseball stadium and party, and it's people that want to go to a baseball game. Cubs fans, White Sox fans. Okay?
Gotcha.
So-
I'm seeing this really interesting insight into your culturalism.
It's the only group of people that I have an immediate prejudice against. It's the only group of people in which I carry a prejudice, like a true prejudice.
Right. Well, because what I'm seeing is like, baseball and sports is a culture. It's about that.
Yes.
Yes.
It's woven into the fabric of my life.
Yes.
Yes.
It is. It's a fundamental nature of the culture of you, and how you partake and how you participate in the cultural activities and ideology of your culture.
I take it seriously.
I get it.
It's real.
Yeah.
And it's not that serious. It's silly. I know that. Okay.
Right.
This has just become the Brandon's a fucking hypocrite hour, right? The last third of the show, which is fine. I'm okay with it.
No,
right?
there's
Well,
not
little
really
bit
a
published.
hypocrisy
Or a walking
There-
contradiction or whatever you want to say.
There's the humanist, aspect of that. We have conflicting cultures and mores in that.
No, it's not conflicting cultures. It's people that are sports fans and a bunch of jackasses that just are attached, that are just latching onto something that they don't care about. But this is the thing. This is why they're jackasses, is because they would try to engage as if they were peers, as if we were the same.
Yeah. There's
Right,
equals.
as
When you're
if they're this, and as if the Cubs were like relative to other franchises and other teams, which they weren't, because they were the worst. They didn't win for 108 years because the franchise just exploited all these people and never invested in the team and never got the players that they needed to really win and for to compete over a long term. Of course they could have. They were owned by the Chicago Tribune. They had more money than any team at some points, right? Or as much access to money as any team.
And resources,
And they
yeah.
didn't do shit because they didn't have to. Because you know what? The Cubs would go 70-92, and you guess where they would be on the attendance rankings for that year? Top 5 every year. When the Colorado Rockies suck, guess how many people show up to the ballpark? 5,000-6,000 a night. Yeah. When the White Sox sucked, you go to a game, there's 2,700 people there on a Tuesday night when it's cold out.
Right.
And they're playing the Royals or whatever. The reason I wanted them to win is because that once they did that, and it's come to pass, once they finally got that monkey off their back, now the Cubs, just like everybody else, took that little badge off of their lapel,
Right.
that little thing that they had, that little. Well, that's why we're the best sports fans in the world, because we stick by them through thick and thin.
See,
Go fuck yourself.
That's also the loyalty thing. That's totally a loyalty thing.
But it was fake. It wasn't loyalty. It was just a bit, because they didn't really give a shit.
Well, it's purity signaling that I'm loyal.
It's Midwest nonsense, is what.
Even though they don't win. I'm not judging right or wrong.
I am.
I'm just calling that how I see it in the human cultural experience.
Hey, you asked, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I appreciated that.
I feel better.
Good.
I feel good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And now,
And I totally forgot where I was going with that whole thing.
that's
too.
fine. Now I'm just thinking about baseball now because the White Sox are awesome again, and it's awesome. I love it. I love this team. I'm so excited about baseball.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
excited about
yeah.
baseball.
Well, it evolved, into that whole cultural, in group, out group thing,
And
and the loyalty that you're in groups, and
well, I'll tell you what, and we're gonna wrap it up. Talk about America and the good stuff. Man, walking into a ballpark.
well, I love seeing all these videos of there's people from other countries that they come and they eat our food and go, this is
Oh,
the best
dude.
thing I've ever eaten.
You walk in and it's the combination of green grass, freshly cut grass, and grilled onions and grilled meats and body odor and spilled Budweiser and just a mass of people, and you see the kids that are there for the first time with their gloves and just the camaraderie, the baseball, man, the camaraderie
It's
of
a
being in the
cultural
ballpark.
experience.
Oh, it's a sensory experience.
Yeah.
And,
Just like the UFC thing on the South Lawn was.
it's not like that at all. It's the beauty and the majesty that when you're there, that you might see something that has never happened before. It happens every year where something they manage to come up with something. A player does something that's never been done before, and something comes up.
There we go.
And
That's where I was hitting it, is that our culture as Americans
yeah,
is we love the underdog. And we have this whole tale that
we love to
anybody
project that we love the underdog.
yes, that anybody can come up from nothing
Mhm.
and succeed. That we love the underdog's tale.
Mhm.
But that it's a part of what I've in my head referred to as the American mythos. That we like these ideas, they just don't happen. And with a little, I think with some good tweaking, we might be able to.
The road is always under construction.
Yeah.
It's always going to be under construction.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that the phrase "the American experiment" has been adopted in more of a mainstream context.
Because that's what democracy is. It's all this A/B testing. Let's try that.
Yeah.
We try that. But also we have 50 test beds. We have 50 labs going all the time. Well, not all the time, because New Mexico only works for a month, where we can find best practices and experiment and do new things and different things. And then when we find things that work and then it works in 30 other states, then it becomes best practice for all. And I think that's a part of that balance system that was set up initially that is so beautiful, that we have all these test beds running for best practices. But right now we have this top-down thing where we have organizations that are pushing legislation for their best interest and not for ours. And that's where we need a diversion. And we need to have grassroots, best practices coming up and not policies coming down.
100%. So last thing, because we talked about it on the porch before we got started. At our 250th anniversary, if the founding fathers were able to be magicked back here today, and we're able to take a look around and peel back some layers, it's always been an easy trope in the media and the discourse is, what would the founding fathers say about this? So I ask you. Well, I'll ask you. You can ask me. You want to go first? You want me to go first? It's your show.
No, you go first.
You go first. All right. So the question is, what would the founding fathers say if they came back today? What would be their take on how we're doing with what they set up for us? Right?
Yeah.
I think they would say, and especially Adams and Madison and maybe Jefferson. Now, Jefferson would probably just go to France and just hang out for a couple of years while everybody else worked. They would say, they'd look around and say, why haven't you changed this thing more?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
Yeah.
the Constitution.
Right.
We built it so that you could amend it. In 250 years, you've only come up with 17 more things. 17?
Yeah. Well, and it was 50 years ago.
And
the last
3
one.
of which are pretty much just extensions of all men are created equal.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what they would say.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is,
Yeah.
but I think that's what they would say. Because I think they'd be disappointed that we have turned what they wrote into some
Dogma.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's borderline.
Mhm.
It's interpreted as such. It's talked about as if it were gospel sometime, a lot, right? Depending on but it's been used as a political tool and as something that if you don't agree with an idea for making an adjustment, well, then your retort is, oh, you think you're more equipped than the founding fathers to
Yeah. To
do
that
this.
problem. Yeah.
Which is, do you still beat your wife? I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so
It's a trap. And I see that
it's a trap.
they would be appalled at the tyranny and the amount of not liberty we have. And then go, why haven't you taken your power back?
To us, to the
Yes.
citizens.
To the citizens.
So mine, they're talking to the
I don't,
the legislatures.
And me, they're talking to the people and
Yeah.
being like, you're living higher taxed, higher expenses than when we threw the tea into the harbor.
Mhm.
Why haven't you taken your power back? You should be mad at hell.
It's
You
like
should be
hard, man.
mad as hell and sick and tired and not going to take it anymore. And actually do what Americans have always done and unite and do the bigger hard things. Because our diversity makes us stronger, because we have more ideas. Therefore we have better ideas when we all unite and work together. And then we can make the legislative changes that we need to really take back our control and our liberty and our freedom for all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, America.
That's America. Because we like people when we help them. Yeah, that's the thing, is we need to unite and become humans together again.
Because you'll like yourself when you help people.
Yeah.
You like yourself when you help people. When you do something good for somebody else, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Of taking care of just me and mine.
It feels great.
Is a hard way to live. Oh, there's I forget who said it. It's like, if you want to be happy, take a nap.
Mhm.
If you want to be happy right now, take a nap. If you want to be happy for a week, go fishing.
Mhm.
Go see a baseball game.
Mhm.
If you want to be happy for a lifetime, take care of somebody.
Mhm.
We need to take care of each other.
Well, we said it earlier, that empathy is a superpower
It is. It's one of the things.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the major
It
things
is.
that separates us from everything else.
Yeah. To be able to put yourself into the shoes of another, it's something that not everyone is blessed with the ability to do, or the willingness to do, and it means something. It doesn't mean nothing. That's a beautiful thing, and we need more of it.
Yeah. So in the spirit of canceling awesome,
Mm.
be excellent to each other.
Rock and roll.